You can choose to be a walking lesson, a walking inspiration, or both. The truth is that people will look at your life to be inspired or learn from it. With its valleys and peaks, twists and turns, ups and downs, it's the struggle that makes life beautiful. When you grow up in the inner city, it shapes you in some ways. It's like you're always walking a line. You can go left or right at any time. It's influences that you see and don't see. There's musical influences, fashion influences, and lifestyle influences that shape you. The biggest influence for me was my parents though. With my dad being Jamaican and my mom being American, they fused two cultures in me that are embedded forever. There was always two different foods, two different types of fashion, two different lifestyles. But most of all, I remember the two different types of music that always seemed to be around in the cars and in the house. We would go to Jamaica every summer as a child, and there I learned more and more about my roots and culture. Without strong roots, you can't be strong at all. And my parents knew that, especially my dad. Growing up wasn't rough at all. Our parents pushed me and my brother to do our best at all times. Always aim high was what my father and my mother would say. So I took that approach with everything that I did and still do. I was always focused. In 9th grade, I met one of my closest friends who changed my musical ear when he introduced me to the real street dancehall music, coming straight from Jamaica.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
He put me on to all the artists I didn't know, because at the time we grew up on more reggae than dancehall. From that point on, I would record and develop the Jamerican sound, trying to find my niche. But when there's no niche, you have to shape your own space. I started to do that. Life began to speed up when I graduated from high school and went to DSU. I seen a friend making money, a lot of money. When I learned you could profit from marijuana, I jumped right in. Me being from the city, I was able to connect dots people couldn't. And soon the squad took off, like it should be. I hustled, graduated cum laude, got my bachelor's degree in 4 years. Still walking that fine line, not ready to go left or right. I worked in Trenton, commuted 2 hours every day. We started throwing parties and eventually opened a restaurant and bar, all before the age of 25. Life was moving fast as hell. I felt it too. So I stopped all the bullshit when I opened the restaurant and probably became one of the youngest black restaurateurs ever in my city. I put everything I had into it. I remember opening with $10 in my account, and I really hustled for 2 years straight to keep the restaurant open, then eventually lost it all. I mean all of it. I felt like my family, my friends, and all my employees, I just felt like I really just let everybody down. And I really did. I always say you're not a boss until you have something where you can pay people a wage or salary that they can live off. I felt responsible, so I had to get back on my feet, not only for me, but for everyone else. So I jumped back into what I knew best. But this time it was at lightning speed. I had my girl, I had my son to feed, I got an office space, put the team together, started a creative marketing group, and walked that line, not ready to go left or right. Then, 29 pounds, 20,000 cash, 2 guns later, I was busted, like really busted. 2 years minimum mandatory. That was my first time ever in handcuffs. Yeah, my first time ever in handcuffs. Shit was really tight. I really think the cop did shit on purpose, just to hurt my hands actually. So I had a whole time to get ready and start thinking about what I'm gonna do with my life for the next 2 years, away from my family, away from my loved ones, away from my girl, away from my son. So then that's made a decision. I told myself that if I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna come out better, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that's what I did. Time is a teacher when you know how it works. I came home, got back to the music, my first love, and I just humbled myself. It's like money didn't even matter anymore. Happiness did. I started chasing happiness and not money, and everything just changed for me. Everything fell in place. It was still a struggle though. So now I'm a felon, an ex-restaurateur, a college grad all in one, working in a breakfast room for minimum wage at a hotel. I remember someone saw me and said, "Damn, you're not supposed to be here." And I thought to myself, and I said, "Damn, I am really supposed to be here. This is just part of my journey." From there, I even did paper routes, overnight shifts, wash windows, all in the ES96 300 that I still have to this day. It was doing the paper routes in that ES300 where I really started working on my music again, because it was just me and the road and it was quiet. I started writing all in my head. I started recording again, and this whole situation actually didn't demolish me. It really boosted my confidence, because now I feel like I could do anything. So then I released my first EP. It's an AG Summer, 20,000 streams, and I just really put it out there. Now my total body of work is over 100,000 streams. I even have a few A&Rs that I send some music to here and there. And one day, one is definitely gonna stick. I'm gonna get that hit. Now what if I gave up? What if you give up? Then you'll just be a walking lesson. But if you keep trying and never give up, you'll be that walking inspiration. Be that inspiration. This is my story. And I'm AG, Alexandar Grant.
Girl, when your body like it's go-go, you're winning, let me cheer for your spirit. Oh, baby, we can win it, let me cheer for your spirit. Oh, baby, we can win it, let me cheer for your spirit. Oh, win it, win it, tip off. Oh, yeah. Girl, this is the tip off.